Hi, everybody. You're hanging out with Joe and Alex today, comic book guys, comic books from coast to coast. I'm West Coast Joe. I'm hanging out with my good buddy Alexander Turbin over on the East Coast. And we got like a surprise package in the mail today from one of our comic book creators. We thought it might be fun to bring it out and take a look at what we got, as well as discuss some other topics that have to do with comics and comic book creation. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing awesome. Yep, it's an impromptu video, and it really stemmed from this little clip that I saw earlier today, and I want to get into that like as soon as we can. But then there's also all kinds of, like you said, we both got packages from Nate and JK Papers. So we want to show. I haven't even opened mine, so you're going to see it opened live. And plus, there's some other goodies that I kind of want to show and discuss and talk about.
Oh yeah,
But first
absolutely.
thing, but first thing is that this I'm gonna put a poll up for, I know people might be getting sick of my poll care. I kind of like them. I kind of glean a little bit of information out of stuff. I think the arts poll is I particularly love that one, especially since it's an ongoing thing. But this is just going to be maybe 3 or 4 or 5 polls or whatever. It's going to be like 5 different choices, and it's death scenes in. Now, this is the thing that I'm trying to think of, because here's why I wanted to do this. I was in bed. I woke up. I switched on my phone and I started scrolling, as probably everybody does everybody. And I came upon the Kanan death scene. Have you watched Rebels? Are you a Star Wars fan?
Oh, obvious. I'm a Star Wars fan, but you know what? I don't think I did ever finish Rebels.
Did or did you get into it?
Like I didn't. I don't like. I couldn't tell you like exactly. Like I mean, I want to say I was probably somewhere around season 3. You know what I mean? Like when it probably conked
Yeah,
out on it
yeah,
or whatever. Like I know the characters were pretty
yeah,
far along. But just like with a lot of things, it
yeah.
seemed to just get repetitive with its back and forthness or whatever. Like.
Well, Well, in my estimation, in my belief, I think that Kanan. I'm going to spoil. Is that okay? This is
Yeah,
spoilers.
it's been over for a
All
few
right.
years
We
now. I
don't
think.
do this show.
Yeah,
This show is not spoil free ever, I don't
I
think.
think if you ain't
So
caught the end of
in
it by now, it's your fault. You know what I mean?
right. It's pretty old. So Kanan dies in the show. And he's like the main good Jedi, whatever. And he dies in such a fantastic, like, there's this big explosion and they're in this like helicopter, whatever. They're on top of a rooftop. What's that?
No, that was just my puppies. So like heard a noise outside. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. And they're on top of a rooftop. There's an explosion, like somebody's trying to kill them, whatever. There's an explosion, and the rest of the group are in the helicopter or whatever. And you know that they don't have time to get away. So Kanan jumps out, uses the force to keep back the explosion from the rest of the group. And like his girlfriend jumps out, who is man, I
I
can't
know who
remember
it
her
is.
name.
Yeah, the captain of the
And
ghost or whatever that
yeah,
character.
yeah, Captain of the Ghost, and she tries to stop him. But they have this eye locking scene where he's you can just tell there's no dialogue or whatever. You can just tell he's like, I gotta do this. I gotta save you. You need to get away. And he's blind. And so in this exchange, his eyes, which are normally like dull, turn her color. So you like, there's a lot of debate about whether the Force gave him his eyesight back, or maybe he's seeing things from her perspective, or something like that. So anyway, he Force pushes him, her back into the helicopter, whatever, and pushes the helicopter away. And as that happens, the explosion blows up and he dies. So it's like the greatest death scene ever for Star Wars, in my opinion. But then I
You
was
think so? Okay.
thinking, um, so I'm going to go one. I'm probably not going to spell these names right. But then I was thinking of other death scenes that are, because I was getting kind of choked up. That's how
For
powerful
sure.
the
For
scene
sure.
was. And I was just wondering, what other powerful death scenes are there out there? And what is your
Well,
Because
there's a handful
that's
of
what
them,
I
you
was
know.
thinking. I was like,
Yeah, I have a handful that come to my mind. You know what I mean? But I guess it's probably a different thing for everyone. You know, like there's quite a few meaningful ones. I mean, if we're talking about in cinema and just different things, you know what I mean?
yeah, I'm thinking let's keep it to comic books and cinema, TV.
Well, dude, like,
Should
okay,
we
first of
should
all,
we
okay,
just
like one of the most
yeah
important ones ever for me when I was a kid, and I know
yeah
that other people feel the same way because I've seen this repeated again and again, was
yeah
the end of Excalibur. Okay, the end of Excalibur with
Excalibur?
Mordred and King Arthur.
Huh.
Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I mean I've seen it a million times. His son dies. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, the way they both die. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
It's like
yeah. They both like he kills him. Like they, it's one of those. They both stab each other, right?
yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
the son stabs him, with this
yeah,
great long spear, and Arthur's sitting there dying. And
yeah, yeah.
in
That's a good
order
one.
to, he's not close enough to the sun to get him, so he has to grab the spear and he has to pull
Yeah,
himself
yeah,
along the
yeah,
spear to get close enough to his son.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then he just drives
yeah,
the
yeah.
sword into his son, right? And then they're both
Yeah, yeah,
locked into each other in this death throw. You know what I mean? Each one
yeah,
pushing the blade further and further into the other, or whatever. They both collapse, locked into this sort of uh, pretzel of one another. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah,
I know, like, if you're paying attention, it's the Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne gets shot scene in Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. They're
yeah.
walking out of the theater, and if you pay attention, the movie they're walking out of is Excalibur.
Is it Excalibur in the
Yeah,
comics? It's Zorro.
I know, but in the movie, it's
Yeah, yeah,
Excalibur. And
yeah,
if you
yeah.
know, and then
There's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
in that film, that's how Superman and Doomsday go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Doomsday
yeah. That's awesome.
stabs.
That's awesome.
Doomsday stabs.
Yeah,
Superman, and then Superman stabs him.
yeah,
Has to, like, pull the
yeah,
thing closer and closer to himself in order to stab Doomsday. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And he
yeah, yeah.
reenacts the death scene from Excalibur at the end of Batman
All
versus
right, so
Superman:
all
Dawn
right,
of
so
Justice.
all right, so let's do that as number three though. Um, Superman's death or death of Superman. Should we should the movie and the comic book be two different things, or
Um,
is the
I'd
movie
say it's
even
the
because
same thing in both of them. It's the same thing. It's the
it
same
is
thing.
it
You know
is
what I mean?
The movie I didn't really care. The comic book I thought was pretty powerful. I'm not like a huge Superman fan. I just got it because everybody else did. But I thought it was pretty powerful. But the movie I was like, maybe because I
Dude,
knew that he was kind of come back and
that's so funny because I would felt the exact opposite. Like, the comic book sucked. You know what I mean? Like, I
right,
hated the
right.
comic.
It
Like,
did
it was just
suck.
it's just like, okay, like, how we're doing that thing we're doing right now with all the, our echoes of the DC guys. Like, the
Yeah,
one of the reasons why I want to do this so bad is because, like, I had this itch in my brain a long time now to redraw the whole, like, last 10 pages of Death of Superman myself and my style the
right.
way I thought it
Yeah,
should be. But I didn't
yeah,
want to get
yeah,
sued by DC.
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
like, I need
yeah.
to make up a Superman echo that I could use to do this. And I had been wanting to do that for a long time and just
That's
never
cool.
did it until you came along and threw that idea down. And I was like, okay, finally, I'm going to sit down and create this guy who's going to be my echo, if I ever wanted to do the
That's
Death of Superman
cool.
thing, because
Yeah,
thought they blew it so bad. But I loved it in the
yeah.
movie. In the movie, it cried. I mean, like, I cried in the movie. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, really? Huh. Huh. Yeah, I mean, you saw my Death of Superman thing that I
yeah.
started, and I just, you know, I started doing that, and then Ed Piskor died, and that's when I kind of lost my
Yeah,
motivation
see, like,
to
I don't,
finish it.
you know, Ed, that sucks what happened with Ed. I'm such a huge fan of his. I don't know. I put up a tribute video on the first,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
I saw it.
I loved it, like him. I honestly, dude, I cried like I lost a brother when that dude died, when he
Yeah,
did that to
yeah,
himself. But,
yeah, yeah,
for lack of, like, probably popular opinion, I'll just say that Ed Piskor kind of went out like a samurai. You know what I mean? Like, I think he
yeah,
disgraced himself, and he realized that, and he just did what he had to do to sort of wipe that away from his parents or anything around him. You know what I mean? And he
Yeah.
just like a samurai would have done, like in Shogun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like a samurai in Shogun, and just dropped to his thing and just did his thing and just wiped the slate clean. I think
Yeah.
by doing that
Yeah.
in my eyes, you know what I mean? Like it was horrible, and I cry at the loss of such a elegant
Yeah.
mind when it came to comic books. I mean, Ed had the ability to
Yep.
break it
Yep.
down in such a magnificent form and make people who probably didn't know anything about it crave to know about it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah.
now
Definitely.
he wasn't, I don't really think he was a very good artist, and I don't really care for any of the mediums he covered with his art. I don't think Jim
Yeah.
Rugg is a very good artist either. I mean, both those guys are mediocre talents as far as their art was
Uh,
concerned. Like,
I think they're really good. They're just not for you.
yeah, whatever. I mean,
Uh,
that's like a lot of things for me. You know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah.
fine. I can
Yeah.
totally accept that.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, like the stuff they covered and what they're doing just is not even remotely interesting to me. And I never really
Right. Right.
dug on either of their stuff very much, but they're elegant minds when it came to comic. It's unprecedented. It was beautiful. I love to listen to them talk. I could listen to them talk for forever. I still put on their show daily. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
miss those
Yeah,
guys all the
they
time.
definitely reintroduced comics to a lot of people, and I mean the videos that we're doing now. I mean, I started making videos in part because of excuse me, what they were doing, and thinking they
Absolutely.
did such a great job, and maybe I could contribute too. And so yeah, I mean maybe we should do a whole video on cartoonist kayfabe at some point,
I
because
thought about
that's
that
a
one
lot of
time,
stuff.
when I put that tribute up, I was like, man, we probably should just do a video where we talk
Yeah,
about how important what these guys did and, how much we miss that, and I know there's a lot of people out there doing great stuff now, and it's cool, to see that. And I really enjoy the resurgence that those guys kind of helped create with,
yeah,
their
yeah.
medium and their time. It
All
was
right, so
awesome.
let's move on. I'm gonna say this, but Phoenix, Jean Grey
Think so?
Phoenix.
Jean Grey, the Phoenix? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, she doesn't
Um,
really die either, you know what I mean? But
well, no, but it's probably the biggest death in comic books, maybe behind Superman or tied with Superman. I can't think of a
well, it was
bigger.
definitely the biggest
Um,
thing when we were kids. You know what I mean? Like, like in
yeah,
our
yeah,
generation or whatever, it was probably the biggest, event like
yeah,
that had ever taken place. Like
yeah.
maybe the Gwen Stacy thing, might have been up there
Maybe
too.
Gwen Stacy. Maybe Gwen Stacy. She might be on it. She's going to be on the list too, obviously. But yeah, but it all down to whether you're a DC guy or whether you're a Marvel guy or whether you're reading the book. Like, have you ever read X-Men in a stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I was into it big time as a kid, and I read a lot of them. I read a lot of the John Byrne stuff, and then I followed
Yeah,
it through like Jim Lee's stuff too until he jumped over to Wildcats, and even then I probably still picked the stuff up. I just didn't read it or whatever. I probably still
yeah,
have them.
yeah,
I was still collecting, just
right.
not following it as
Yeah,
closely as I used to or whatever as a kid.
yeah. But you're definitely a more of a DC guy, right?
Yeah, dude. Like DC
Yeah,
crushes on Marvel. Like I think, in my honest opinion, like it's not even close. Like
yeah,
Marvel is
yeah.
cool. They have cool characters. I'm not gonna bag on Marvel. I love that stuff too. I mean, the Hulk, Spider-Man, it's all good. But like when DC is
Yeah.
firing on all of its cylinders, like I don't think it's even comparably close, man. You know what I
Have
mean? Like
have you
DC falls off hard.
have you read
Sometimes they blow it.
JLA versus the Avengers?
No, I never have.
It's very interesting. I haven't read all of it. I only had like 3 or 4, and I sold a couple of them. No, it's 4 issues, so I only had I think I had 1 and 2, maybe 3. But it starts out. They get together, like the superheroes from both universes get together, and for some reason, Captain America and Superman are like at each other's throats. They're like hurling insults at each other, talking about their worlds and their different perspectives and stuff. It's really kind of
Well,
weird.
they're both versions of the
Um,
same character, so of course they're going to have in a certain amount of.
well, it was. I mean, obviously, it was the bad guy influencing them somehow, but it was really basically like Captain America was saying stuff like, uh, "People in your world are so cared for and like everything." everything's pristine in your universe and everything, and it's almost like there is no free will and stuff like that. And Superman is like, why don't you clean up the trash in your universe? You know, you have all of these great powers, but you don't do anything to fix anything. So they like kind of go at each other.
It sounds like they're speaking broadly of how the different companies approach their characters.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah, it is. It's really great. I mean, I'm going to pick up the trade paperback. I mean, the art's awesome. Obviously, it's George
Like
Perez, and
here,
the
you know,
story's
like
pretty cool.
recently, I felt like say like this time last year, like I felt like DC was really falling off, and like they were doing some weird stuff, dude. And like I don't, you know, I'm not trying to sound like I don't want to. I'm not against any lifestyle that anybody has. You know what I mean? I don't care about any of that stuff. But
Yeah,
there was this sort of like sort of floating ideology that seemed like if you weren't like a gay or a lesbian person at DC, you weren't going to get your stuff through. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And like
yeah,
that's what they were
yeah,
all about, was
yeah,
like handling this agenda about that kind of thinking, you know? And it was like
yeah,
you were
yeah,
getting all
yeah.
these
I mean,
weird
that's pretty
stories
big.
about Clark Kent's sons and one of them being gay and going to prison and getting raped. And,
Yeah,
you know, you're getting like
yeah,
comics where
yeah,
Aquaman is like the king of the oceans and has all the force of nature behind him, but he's picketing on the lines with college kids to save the oceans. You know what I mean, dude? Like, and it
yeah,
was just
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous. And they
I,
were blowing it, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's a huge. We have to we have to dedicate a whole series to that, because same thing with Marvel and DC. I mean, it's very. I mean, I don't like to use the term woke, because really woke just means you know that there's racism, and you know that people are affected by racism and stuff. So, but people hurl woke around like it's some insult, and
it's
it
because it
really
means a
isn't.
lot of different things to a lot of different people, depending on which perspective you're looking at it through. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Woke is like a
Yeah.
clear piece of candy or whatever that, you know, bends the light when you look through it, depending on where
Yeah.
you're looking through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's true. But I mean, it's I think so much of it is, and I mean that kind of is why I did that New Mutants video that I did a couple videos ago, where they're talking about racism and stuff. And did you see that one?
I did. Hey, just real quick, we just want to throw a shout out to Byron. Thanks for coming by, Byron. We always love to see you here, bro.
Hey Byron, I can't see anybody, so I don't know why it does that
Like,
sometimes. So if you see somebody in the chat, give
well,
them a shout
anyways,
out.
like I was saying, you know, it got very along those kind of lines, and I don't think they were doing so
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
And it's like, you know, it really
yeah,
feels heartbreaking to see characters like that handled in that kind of way. Now, it's not to say like I think like, oh, those things shouldn't be whatever addressed. Like, there's, you know, if you want to do that, do it, but you have to make a good story. Like, I don't care
yeah,
about your
yeah.
agenda. I care about
Right, right.
rad stories where characters, you know, live an amazing life on the page, and that's what I want to see.
Right, right,
And
right.
literally, they've just recorralled everything, and they're just kicking ass, dude. Like they're just coming out with all these like just bangers one after the other. Like, what is it? The freaking the superpowers freaking event, and then like the Doomsday Breaks Out of Hell event, and dude, they're
Huh.
just now they're doing Batman Hush too. Like, oh man,
Yeah,
DC is just they've just like man put all their stuff together, put all that other lame stuff out the door, and they're just making awesome comics again, dude. And I'm so
yeah.
excited to see them really kicking ass. You know what I mean? And because you know
All right,
their characters are the best when they're firing, dude. And it's you know I
that
love to see it.
that's cool. All right, so let's get back. Let's do another one. Find another one, because I want to do the poll to have 5 choices. Um, so who do you think is another? What do you think? Like we have Star Wars, and we have
I'll tell you
all
another
of
one
them.
that's real
We have
important to
Han
me.
Solo. We have Luke. We have you know
Yeah,
Leia,
dude, like,
all dying.
and this is what I'm surprised you're not throwing out. I know you are a big fan of this film as well, but one of the ones that always choked me up, and I mean, it still chokes me up every day. And, you know, and I mean, this might have connotations to me because my wife has passed away, but
Yeah.
the scene at the end of Conan, you know,
Tony, that's one of them. I see when I woke up and I was thinking about this. All of these Conan, Krull,
that's one of the
the
ones.
Cyclops and Krull, like so many. That's why I kind of thought about this list, and
When you know
the Kanan thing
when
just
when he's
started it.
battling that, you know, the Ragnar guy at the very end, and you know, and he's about to you know, his sword is shattered or whatever, and he's about to be killed, and she just
Yeah.
appears out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and she doesn't even, she can't even, from the other side, she can't even strike the guy. All she can do is like hit him with her sword and blind him. Dude, like, I love that. And then she turns around and lets it come.
I'm
And he goes,
an idiot. What's her
Valeria.
name? Is it
Yeah, it's
Valeria?
Valeria. She goes, do you
Valeria.
want to live forever? You know,
Yeah.
that was the thing, you know. But
I had the
actually from
biggest
the
crush
books.
on her when
Like
I was
that is
growing up.
from that's a different character. Like in the books, it's actually Belit, the pirate queen, that has that moment.
Oh, really? But there is a Valeria.
Yeah, Valeria is in the novels, but she is not the person that says that in the books. That's actually Belit.
Like in Red Nails area, and Conan's about to rape her at the beginning of that.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, that's kind of
There's
messed
that
up.
whole thing about all the old media where it's full of uncomfortable stuff like that sometimes, you know, like, and Conan, that's not the first and only time like he deals with a woman on those kind of terms, you know what I mean? Like you're just, you know, approaching a woman like that, you know, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you know, that's not okay. But hey, let's get into like these packages that you got too, dude. Like we want to
So we got our 5. I'm gonna put up a poll and see what people think and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna rip into these packages. So this is Nate from JK Papers, and he does Soaked in Blood, as so many people know or don't know.
Hey,
if you don't know,
Byron,
you should know.
I couldn't agree with you more, dude. Like that is what's best in life. Like Byron put up the Conan, what is best in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't think that's what's best in life. Driving my enemies before me. I don't think that's
your
best.
Enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking maybe a good hot fudge sundae.
You're more
than that.
You're more of a fleet horse, falcons at your wrist, and wind in your hair.
Yeah. So Nate sent me this, and is this all stuff that you got as well?
I actually already got that package. I think you're getting that package.
So,
like I already have that one. But I have that too right here.
Yeah. I think that he sent me a couple more things that he hadn't quite sent yet. Who did this? Do you know who did this?
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah.
The sticker. Who
did
the
seriously
sticker?
amazing color cover? Who did that? Who did the full color cover?
This
Who
one?
Did that one?
I don't know. Some hack did that.
Man, look at that, dude. That's so cool. This is the Soaked in Blood cover by myself. I did the pencils and inks, and Jake Quick, Mangle Dangle on Instagram did the color.
Jake Quirk.
So cool. Yeah. Jake Quirk. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So is the ink rubbing off on your copy?
It is a little bit. I mean, you just have to handle it carefully. Like as long as it doesn't have anything on its surface, it doesn't, you know. But if it if you're like got it down and it, slides around or whatever, it does get a little scratches.
Well, what you can do is you can spray this stuff on it, and as much as you can on the inside too. But no, actually, the inside is not because this is photo paper, and I think my printer ink maybe just doesn't adhere to it as well as it could. So if you give this a quick spray with this Ultra Cover Matte Clear, you won't have that problem at all, and it'll give it a nice gloss too.
I'll look into that. Where do you pick that up at?
Walmart, anywhere really. It's like $6 a can, I think, $5 or $6 a can.
Is that where would you look for that at?
Just the paint section.
Oh, in the paint section. Okay.
Yep. There's any kind of clear stuff really will work though. So you don't know who did this sticker?
I want to say that looks like probably Nate's work, maybe, but I can't be certain. I don't know.
I love that. That's awesome.
I think mine's in the other room. Like I have that, but wait, is this it right here? Oh no, I have it right here.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That is very cool color work on this. You know what I mean? It looks like, because you have this like the blood, and, you know what I mean, in the foreground or whatever. Looks separate.
Yeah, it looks almost Bill
Yeah, it's very
Sienkiewicz-ish,
cool. Yeah, it's super. It's
which
too
is
bad it's
always
so
awesome.
small. We didn't get this like as a back cover or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I got he sent me Soaked in Blood 5 and 6. And actually, you know what? This magazine size, it doesn't hurt my old man eyeballs. So I think that might be perfect for this red paper.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I think it looks better on the white paper than the red. You know, but I get it. The red paper is super cool and people love it. But the
It
magazine
is
size,
cool.
I love it. It was so cool, Nathan. Such a great job, dude. So if you see this, I
Yeah,
just want to
yeah.
congratulate you on your recent release. And man, I want to take a quick look at this, The Bikini Knife War of 19XDX by Dan Goodwin. Dan Goodwin is a friend of the comic book from Coast to Coast guys. And
Yeah. Yeah,
man, dude, let's just
I
take
have
a
his.
yeah, we have his whole run, and we're getting ready
Yeah,
to do a
yeah.
show on his stuff here pretty soon.
He sent me his stuff, and we're going to be looking at that definitely in the
I
next coming
mean,
week or so.
that double spread is so cool. There's so much detail. Like it just that's the thing about Dan's work is like you have to give yourself time with it because like there's so much on every page. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just like you got to just sit and look at this stuff and wait for things to resolve. You know what I mean? Because like there's just like so much just chaos on the page. But this stuff is fantastic, man. And I mean, he mowed that thing to pieces, dude. Like that's so
yeah,
awesome. And I just
yeah.
want to take a quick second to
Is that
like show some of Dan's amazing work. Like this is Dan's comic book right here, Sundays in Space, and Dan does amazing work.
one I have?
Thank you, Byron. That's super cool. I want to say thank you so much. You know, and Byron, it's guys like you who come on and hang out on the show. We love it, man, and that's the coolest thing of all is like all of us comic book guys getting together and sharing our ideas and sharing our stuff. And it's so cool when you guys come on. And we love it when you guys leave comments and let us know what you think. And just want to, like I said, and I'm always saying, you guys let us know what you're creating out there. If you guys have comics, get us a copy of them and we're going to feature them on the show. We're going to like show people what your stuff looks like because we work with and around so many super talented artists.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So Soaked in Blood, you can get these at JK Papers. I don't know, .com. Is there jkpapers.com? Or
I
is
think
there's I
he
think
goes through big
Big
cartel, doesn't
Cartel?
he?
I
Like,
think so.
yeah,
I think it's JK
bigcartel.com.
Papers Big Cartel, yeah, I think so. So grab those because you know it's not cheap to produce these and send these out to other artists and stuff. And so it takes a lot of work, a lot of ink, a lot of paper, a lot of effort. And when you buy one of these or whatever, buy all of them, it really does help the creators a lot. Or the Nate particularly. I
Oh,
mean,
look what else is in here too, dude. Did you
which
see
one is
that?
that? Which one is that?
You don't recognize this?
Is that 6 or is that 6 or 5?
What do you mean? It's number 6.
Okay.
It's
No,
about
number 5. Reality Riders.
oh, I see number. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, it is number 5. You're right. Yeah,
yeah,
Reality Riders, dude.
yeah.
I was wondering, like,
Yep.
I hadn't seen this one yet.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
I'm actually bummed out. I'm not on the interiors of this one. I just got the
yeah,
cover. But this
yeah.
is me on the cover. In case you
It
guys are
really
wondering,
sucks when yeah, it really sucks when there's like this project and then it comes out and you're like, man, I wish I'd been like I wasn't in the Sunday Jam, and
yeah,
that was
you
my
were in.
idea. The
Yeah, you didn't.
Saturday Jam or whatever
You didn't
cartoon
do
jam.
you didn't do the Killing Spree either, did you?
No, there's a few. And I wasn't in the Turtles.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
don't.
do that one either.
Yeah, but the Saturday one was my idea. I was like, hey, we should do the Saturday thing, and I really wanted to do like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, and then I mean, stuff piled up and I couldn't do it. So,
I
but
know it's
hey,
always like that, like you want to
yeah,
do one of these things or whatever, and you want to be part of it, but it's like it's hard to squeeze in the time, man. It
yeah,
is. It's
it
hard,
is. But
especially
hey,
like if you have a few projects going.
yeah, one last thing I want you in particular to see, and see if you have any of these or whatever. I got these like last month or a couple months ago at Dollar General, and not Dollar General, the dollar store.
At like dollar, yeah, dollar. I know what you're talking about. Dollar Tree, yeah, yeah, yeah.
A
No,
Dollar
I do
Tree,
have one of those in
and so
stock, and I keep
they're
meaning to go buy
$1.25.
it. It's
So
just
that's, you
I
know,
never get by it when it's open. It's always because I work in the evening and it's always closed. I'm just trying to get out there because I do want to,
yeah.
see about it because I've heard about that they're packaging them and selling them over there, trying to keep the numbers up or whatever. But those look awesome, dude. Like
Well,
that's exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
think
And
they
those look great, dude. Like I mean, the coloring, the art, they're really firing on all cylinders right now.
Well, I mean, this is old stuff. Isn't Rebirth like 10 years old or something
Oh,
like that?
honestly, I don't know. Is that an older thing? Okay, okay. Well, then it's
I
probably good
think.
too. Then
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know DC stuff, but they're all number ones. They're all number ones, and it's like Rebirth, and there's some other stuff. And like I only read one of them. There's a Harley Quinn one that I read, and I really like that. And so I'm not sure. So let me know if you have any of these. You have any of these?
I don't. I don't have any of
You
those.
don't have
But
any of this?
that's Jorge Jimenez, I think. Is that who did that? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's he's
Jimenez.
so
Yeah,
rad, dude. Like I'm
yeah,
like I try to do like a lot of times I'll try to like say like on those like the last couple of pages of the the Entropy Alliance stuff. Man, like
yeah,
I was trying to get to something like that by adding the grays on my page, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to do like analog what he does digitally. Because I noticed it he'll do it analog and then he finishes it up with digital touches or whatever. But I was
yeah,
just trying to
yeah.
get as close as I could, like on the analog side. But dude, I'm really like, I love his work.
Here's Jimenez too. Batman: The Joker War. So
Yeah,
some of these are worth quite a bit. Like some are worth like $8, $9, $10.
that's rad. And you got him for
Yeah,
just in a little pack on
buck
there. Huh?
buck
That's
buck
awesome.
25. Yeah, I wish there was a maybe I'll have to look online, see if there's actually a list of what they have, because I'll go in there and I'll, see the rack or whatever and be like, "Hey, do I have that?" I don't know if I have it or not.
Dude,
See,
that's
Batman
awesome.
Adventures. Do you
Yeah, now
have any
you're
Batman
like
Adventures?
inspire me to go in there now. And now I really have to make the time to get in there and go around. Like maybe I have to like go to work an hour early one of these days, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And go in
yeah.
there and just look around or whatever, because like I really do want to get that. Especially now that I know that all that
They're only
good DC
they're
is
only
there,
$1.25.
What's that?
They're they're $4 cover price and they're only $1.25. So how could you
That
go
doesn't seem
wrong?
like you can at that point, dude. That's awesome.
No, no, and they're wrapped in
I
these
tell
things.
you
So
what, Alex.
look at the
I
cover.
tell you what, bro. Like if I go down there and I can't find them at my thing, I might Venmo you like $40 and have you put some up for me.
Hey, that'd be cool. I would do that. I'd do
Yeah.
that. The new 52. That's quite a few years old. But this is an awesome cover.
Well, I love the new 52 stuff too, though, man. That's Jim Lee, like that's Jim Lee's version.
Well,
And I was down with
is
that as
this
well.
is this Jim Lee cover? You think, or is this Tinian? Tinian?
No, so that looks like a Dave Finch to me, actually. Like that looks like
Yeah.
David Finch painting. Like,
So
but,
I'm so torn as to whether or not I should rip these open and
but
review
like
them or go over
Court
them or
Owls
whatever.
was new 52, and I was a huge fan of Court
That was new
Owls. You know what I
52.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so was and this thing is, I mean, I am so into this, like, because I'm drawing a Superman thing, or not a super, but Superion is the Superman
Yeah.
thing, and this is super, influencing to me, dude. And this is, Jim Lee's new 52 Superman Unchained, and it's stunningly good. Freak, it's so good. It's
That's
not just
cool.
the art, but the story too. The story is rad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
super cool, dude. Scott Snyder, Jim Lee.
Are you a Wonder Woman fan?
I am, dude. Like,
You are.
I have a Wonder Woman character coming up in our story. I was just going to call her Warrior Woman
Warrior Woman.
or Golden Goddess. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah,
But dude,
I think you might have. To
right.
rethink the name a little bit.
Like I came up with this female version of the question that I'm going to call misinformation.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
And
I wonder. Do you
Google
Google names?
No, I just make them up.
Right. Well,
And then
when you
I
think
have
of a name, you should Google it.
I have like a fifth dimensional imp, like kind of like a Mr. Mxyzptlk guy that I'm going to use called Dr. Know It All. So like I've
Yeah,
been, I've just been like
that's
really
cool.
kind of delving into all the like DC stuff lately. You know what I mean? And I really want to write like a super all over the place story where the characters are like, it's gonna be good, dude. Like our next step, it's gonna be awesome, man. Like, I don't know if you're working on your part
Yeah.
yet, but I'm closing in on you. I hope you're like at least starting to, get close.
I need to get some paper. That's my
Alex,
excuse. Because
when is your birthday?
October.
October, huh? Because man, Alex, I gotta get you a freaking pencil, dude.
A pencil?
Get you one of these. Yes. Because I noticed you still I use these too, like to be perfectly honest.
I like the mechanical pencils.
I used to a lot, right? You know what I mean?
I like it.
I did too, but the thing is, like, if you watch, I'm gonna buy you one of these. I'm gonna buy you a thing of lead for it, and you're gonna see the vast difference that it makes because these things crumble real easy and they smear real easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've done like tons of whole drawings with these. You know what I mean? And then you could really tell there's a big difference when you use it's just like the graphite is made better or something, or like I don't know, or because like I've even tried to buy the same like graphite in like these or whatever, like I'll buy the same weights, you know what I mean, and it doesn't behave the same way. Like this is way darker, like this is like way darker than this is, this one is like a little bit cleaner, like the other one smudges way easier. But man, I'm gonna get you a pencil for your birthday, dude. Just so you can like taste it and see what it's like.
Maybe you'll convert me.
That's what I'm gonna try and do.
Yeah. Maybe you'll convert me. You don't use blue pencil ever?
No. What I do is I pencil, and if I'm gonna do blue, I just take it to the print shop and have them print out a blue line for my pencils.
I see. I'm not on the blue. I don't understand blue. I don't understand why anyone would draw blue.
I'll tell you the difference. And I could show. It's too bad you're not here because I could show you if you're physically here. Is like, okay, like with the blue. Okay, it's like the paper, like because like once you've drawn on the paper, you've compromised it because you've erased on it, and every time you erase, you're ripping away light layers of the paper. You know what I mean? And so like once it's drawn on, it's compromised a little bit. And then if you're inked on top of your pencils, your ink slide around a little bit because the pencil, is made up of a fine dust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes everything just a little bit more slidey and a little bit more sloppy. Because I almost never work on top of my pencils, but recently I have been attempting to. And the reason I have been is because I'm getting too much art piled up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having a giant pile of pencils and a giant pile of inks next to it, it's starting to take up too much room. So now I'm starting to just ink on top of my pencils and be less precious about it. But you get a finer, crisper line when you do a blue line because the paper is brand crisp, new, and hasn't been touched. You know what I mean? And so your inks slide over it slick, like just like glass or whatever. Whereas when you ink over a pencil piece, it can be stuttery because you're skipping over the fine dust of the graphite or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I can get it pretty close. You know what I mean? I can get it pretty close and it's whatever. But the other thing too is that by the time this is erased so much, the paper is like, fuck, it's so flimsy, dude. It's you know what I mean? It's getting like lighter and lighter and lighter and more, feathered away as you erase and erase.
Plus you get all that eraser crap. I hate eraser day.
I do it gradually. Like I do it as I go along. I don't just do the whole piece and then try to erase the whole piece. That's insane. You know what I mean?
See, I do it after I'm all done, like my random access. I'll have my 10 pages done, and I'll do my pencil, all my layouts, and then I'll pencil and ink a page at a time, and then I'll erase everything when I'm done. And it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, I will I'll do a piece, and then once I've done the spotted blacks, back and erase, and then I'll go over it again because when you erase, you are destroying little parts of it. You know what I mean? Some areas you might have to really erase hard to get it, and then you'll have to go back in and retouch those areas up or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's just the process of slowly doing so much acreage and then stopping and erasing and then touching it up and then I'll move forward. And that's kind of how I approach the whole thing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, I gotta go draw now.
Yeah, me too, man.
Now I'm all
I
excited
was
to
in the
draw.
middle of inking this
But
thing when you came up with this idea. So I was like, yeah, I got to get back
yeah,
to it as
hey,
well.
have you ever read this? Have you ever read this or seen the movie?
I'm familiar with the movie. I mean, I actually haven't even watched the film. I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I do know it was based on a graphic novel. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the work.
It's fan friggin' tastic, and I don't know, I'm gonna have to go over it at some point or something. It's just like this is so thick, and I haven't even read this, but I love them. This is my favorite comic book movie of all time. So
That is
I don't
wild.
know.
Who drew that? Who's doing the art in that thing?
Richard Pierce Rayner, and yeah, he does. I see. Talking about size, I hate the size of this. This is like a. It's not regular comic book size. It's smaller, which really sucks because it's hard. You know, if you're reading it, it's a lot easier to damage it and stuff. But also, like, look at all this like intricate line work and stuff. You can't really see it. It's all in this little tiny friggin'.
Well,
It's because
yeah,
of manga. I blame
like I
manga.
said, dude, like you never want to go smaller than a comic book. Like I said, I don't really care
Yeah.
for the mini. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people like to make
Yeah.
mini comics, and that's cool, but I personally don't really care for that medium. And you know, like bigger than a comic is fine, but smaller than a comic, no, man. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you know, keep that stuff at a size where people could see it and keep it legible and
Yeah.
keep the art clear and crisp.
Yeah.
You know, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
that's beautiful looking stuff, man.
mini comics is all about the resources. I mean, you do what you can do. So if
Yeah,
you
for
don't
sure,
have a
for
lot of
sure.
resources, you just make the mini comics.
And some people just like, you know, like the medium, and God bless, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
yeah,
that.
a lot
You
of
know
people
what I
do.
mean? But, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do. All right.
All right.
All right.
We're going to get out of here. We're hanging out with you guys today. We're comic books from coast to coast. I'm Joe Leonardo, my good friend over here.
Alexander Turbin.
And we just want to say hey and hang out with you guys. Now it's the end of our thing. Alex, tell them what you tell them at the end of all of our shows.
Thanks for watching, and hit the notification button and the subscription button if you haven't subscribed yet, and keep on creating.